Hello everyone, this is Migu. So today we're going to talk about the new update of the EasyRB Pro add-on. This update is 1.1.4 and let's see what's new in this update. Let's go. So basically this update is related to the RB emitter 2.0 and the RB physics panels. And as you see when you open the RB emitter right now, you will see RB emitter 2.0. In this update, I added a rotation control for the emitted objects, and I added a velocity control for the emission. And let's see now, if you try to emit something, let's add an empty, and maybe add this tourist right here. And now if we emit, we have this collection. Put your tours inside this collection, and if you emit now, you will see it emitting like this. Okay, so basically now it's shooting up. Okay, so basically the emitter now shoot the objects up. That's why, because we have here this value of the velocity is 5 in the z, so the emitter will shoot in the z. If we change this to -5 and we delete this emission and we select our empty and let's emit again, now it should shoot the objects down like this. Okay, and we can also change the direction to x. Maybe let's give it 10 on the x-axis and let's emit. Now it will shoot the objects in this direction. Okay, if we go -10 and select it, and it will shoot in this direction. Okay, so this is the velocity control of the emission. It will control the emission direction based on the values that you put right here. Okay, now let's me explain the rotation. So let's make this 0 and let's shoot the objects up with velocity of 5. Now let's explain the rotation. Okay, so in the last update we didn't have control of the rotation, so if we try to emit the object like this, the objects will emit the same of the rotation of the original objects. So what I add now right here, this RTX, RTY and RTZ, all of those values are related to the rotation of the objects emitted. So if I want to rotate this emission 90 degree in the x-axis, I can type here 90 degree, and if I emit right now, it should see it like this. Okay, you should see the rotation like this. Okay, and if you maybe want to emit 90 degree in the z-axis like this, let's emit again, you will see the rotation like this. So now you have all the control to rotate the objects as you like. And we have this randomized control value of 0. It equals no random rotation, but if you put it to 1 and we emit now, you will see that the objects have a different rotation like this. It's very random right now. And of course you can put smaller value. Maybe you want a little bit of rotation, you can put 0.2 and emit. Now you will see that the objects have a slightly different rotation, not a big different rotation, but a smaller difference in the rotation. Okay, and what else? We have this V loss. So let me make the size of the emitter 0. And if we try to emit right now, let's reset the rotation first. And if we try now, let's duplicate this empty, so I show you what this V loss means. So if we try to emit right now like this, you will see the objects will shoot up very fast. Okay, but if we select this one and this V loss, it means the loss of the speed of the velocity of the emission. Let me show you. If we make this value higher, maybe 30, and emit in this empty. Now let's see the difference between this and this. Okay. So if the v loss right here is 3, the velocity will go higher like this. It will keep continue. But if the v loss is higher than 10, or you can go almost to 50, the velocity, it will be very small of the objects like this. Okay. And you can also decrease the velocity from right here, but this will control all the 3 velocities. Maybe you put the velocity of the x5 and this 10, and let's emit from this one. You will see it will shoot like this. Okay. Now if we select this one with the same settings and make it 30, you will see that it will control all the velocities. Now let's see. So basically this v loss, it will control the loss of the velocity of the emission, not the emitted objects. It's similar to this ISP loss, but it controls the emission, not the objects. Okay. So that's basically what's new in this RB emitter. I think it's very nice. Now we have all the control that we need to make cool stuff. So there is two things I want to explain. So if you try to emit objects from the emitter, okay, this is the tip number 1. Make sure that your object is optimized, and make sure that your object poly count is less than 30k at least. Or if you want to go like very optimized, keep it under 10k polygon. Okay. Because why? It's all about math, right? If you try to emit maybe 100 objects from the emitter, okay, so you're gonna do the math. Okay, if your object have 30k polygon, x 100, final result of your objects will be 3 million polygon. Okay, and this is very high number. I mean, it's okay number, not very high, but Blender, as you know, if you get to 10 million polygon, Blender will be very laggy, and it will reduce the performance, of Blender. Okay, so keep your object optimized before you emit them from right here. Don't like import some high poly count object that have maybe 1 million or 2 millions and try to emit them from the emit. Make sure to always keep your object optimized. Okay. The second thing I want to address is an issue where if you try to emit, maybe let's emit in the frame 50. Okay, let's emit those objects like this. If we try to see right now, we have those objects right here. Okay, now if we add another object right here, okay, if we add another object and give this object a rigid body active, okay, now if we play the simulation, you will see that these objects will stop right here. Okay, it will stop in the emitter position right here. So why this happened? Because when you try to emit from the emitter, the objects, as you see this collection right here, the objects are already right here. Okay, but you can't see them. The objects are in this position, but you cannot see them because they are hiding, and they are in the rigid body physics. So if these objects hit this position, it will collide with them. Okay, like this. But if we move this object, maybe let's go back. If we move it right here, it will not collide with them. Okay, so make sure always to don't simulate stuff on top of the emitter. Okay, it will collide with them like this. Okay, and you can of course, if you want to do some this effects, you can do it, but for now don't do like this. So but if you need to make this simulation of this object and you need it, you can first delete the emitted objects. Now you don't have any emitted objects. Now you can simulate your object. Maybe let's put a ground. Now you can simulate this object and bake it to keyframes. Okay, so select this object and bake it to maybe just 60 frames. Bake it like this. Now you have all this animation baked. Now you can emit those objects. Okay, let's emit those objects. Now you will see that these objects will not collide with those objects. Okay, but as you see, we lost the collision of this object. Now we don't have the collision of this object. As you see, some of those objects will go through the mesh, and we don't need that. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna add the rigid body active again, but in this time we're gonna make it animated. Okay, so now you will see that we will have a rigid body correctly, and we will have the collision back. Okay, so that's a technique for you to make this this happen without making this cube or these objects collide with the emitted objects. Okay, so that's it about the RB emitter 2.0. We're gonna make some examples to get used to the workflow of this RB emitter, and let's go to the RB physics now, and let's see what's new in this panel. So now let's talk about the RB physics in this panel, or in this update. If we try to add right now a rigid body active, you will see those small dots next to this friction, speed loss, and bounciness and RT loss. What these small points do, they actually you can use them to put keyframes for the friction, the speed loss, bounciness, or rotation loss. Let me show you how this works. So in Blender, before if you try to keyframe something, you can press E to keyframe it, or you can press right click and insert keyframe, okay, to keyframe this value. But this technique, if you want to keyframe multiple objects with this technique, you cannot keyframe all those selected objects. Okay, so what I did is added this small point right here. If I want to keyframe all selected objects, I can select them, give them maybe a friction of 1, and press right here this small button, and as you see, all of those objects have keyframe in the friction with the same value. Okay, maybe if I want to select only those two and go maybe in the frame 40 and give them value of 0. Maybe this, and keyframe right now, if we select them, this one and this one, you will see that they have the keyframe in the 40 with the same value. Okay, so these small points are just to put keyframes to the selected objects. Okay, now what I added this now what I add also this manual keyframe. If you check it, you will see these panels or these buttons right here, and let me explain what those buttons do. So we have this FRC, BNC, SPL, and RTL. Those are basically the same of this. FRC is friction, BNC is bounce, SPL is just the shortcuts for the names. Okay, so what these keyframes do, you can keyframe the difference between this one and this one is when you select in this option, you have to select you have to go in the timeline and choose the frame with this timeline. Okay, and if you put right now keyframe, you will see that it will put a keyframe in the current frame. Okay, like this. And but sometimes your objects are hidden. If we try to hide those objects in maybe in frame okay, So this objects right now is hidden after the frame 100, but if I try to select it and I want to keyframe the friction maybe in the frame 40 of this object, okay, I cannot do that with this option, because if I try to go to this frame, it will we will lose this object, okay, and if we try to keyframe it, we cannot, because Blender doesn't allow to keyframe hidden objects, okay. So what I did in this manual keyframe, now we can choose the value from right here. Maybe we give it value of 0.5, and we can choose a frame. Maybe we choose the frame number 30, and we can keyframe the friction from right here. And as you see, we added a new keyframe, even though if we go to this frame, this object is hidden. So this is a cool option to have, to keyframe the friction, bounciness, SPL, RT loss in any frame that you want, even the object is hidden, okay. And this is very useful if you try to keyframe the objects from the emitter, because in the beginning the objects, they will be hidden, so you cannot access them, but if you go to the end of the timeline, you can access them. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's remove this rigid body, and we can select add an empty, go to the RB emitter, emit, and we choose this cube, put it inside this collection, and let's emit again. As you see, our objects right now, if we try to select maybe those objects right here, we can go right here, and I want the friction to be 1, okay, but in the frame 80, okay. I don't want the friction to be 1 in this frame, but if I go to the frame 80, I will lose some objects because they are hidden, okay. So what this option do is give me an access to the it gives me the ability to keyframe all of those objects in the frame 30 with maybe any value put from right here, okay. It will not keyframe this this friction, it will keyframe based on this value, okay. I want the friction to be 1 in the frame 30, okay, and if I press friction right here, it will put the keyframe for all of those objects, okay. I can also keyframe the RT loss or the speed loss with the same value, okay. I can keyframe all of those values from right here, okay. Now let's see our simulation. As you see, it changed the simulation, and what I can do, I can select them and maybe put the frame to 100, and I want all of those values to be 0 at frame 100, okay. So I make this 0 and I press friction, bounciness, SPL, and RT loss, okay. Now when they reach the frame 100, all those as you see here, all of those objects, all of those options have the value of 0, okay. And as you see, you can do cool stuff with this option. Also, you can change this value, select all these objects, all the objects, and maybe you want the bounciness to be 0.5 at frame 100, press bounciness, change the value. You want the friction to be maybe 0.9 at frame 90, you can do that, okay. So this basically give you all the control to keyframe anything that you want. You also can keyframe manual, like maybe you want just those 5 cubes, you can keyframe them maybe like this. Now they have all the same values, as you see. Okay, so this is all for the RB physics. Now let's see some examples. So let's try to import something. I have some objects that I downloaded, and maybe let's choose this burger, okay. So if you like import some objects from Sketchfab, you will see that those objects are not joined together. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna select all of those objects and join them together like this. Now we'll have those all objects in the same mesh. What we can do, we can go right here in this physics panel, and we have this this clear parent option. And if we try to press on it, you will get this menu: choose clear and keep transformation. Okay, now it will delete this root and all of those stuff. Right now you can delete them and keep only your object. Okay, what you can do also, you can set the origin into geometry, and you can scale your objects down a little bit. And let's go to the viewport, and we have this beautiful burger. And if we see how much polygons in this mesh, you're gonna see that we have 11,000 polygon. Okay, it's okay mesh, but we can do better if we decimate it. So let's go to the decimate tab. But before we decimate it, it's better to go to the edit mode, select everything, and go to merge by distance. And as you see, we removed 855 vertices or duplicated vertices. Now we can decimate this object to reduce the number and optimize it a little bit. So let's try value of 0.5, and the mesh is okay. Let's go maybe value of 0.1, and we have this low poly burger. It's okay, we can go maybe 1.7, and I think 1.7 is very good mesh. Let's say 1. Or 0.17, I mean. Okay, let's apply it, and now we have this optimized burger with only 2000 vertices. And now we can emit this from the emitter. Okay, and we will not worry about the performance drop because our object is optimized. Okay, so we select this empty, and if we emit with those settings, we get this collection right here. We select our burger and put it inside this collection. Okay, now we select the empty. Let's emit again, and you will see this emission. And I think our burger size is a little bit bigger. We can scale it from right here and apply the scale. And now if we emit, we will see it like this. Okay, very cool. So this is the default settings. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna delete this emission, make the size 0 of the emitter, and let's emit again. As you see, we will get this emission from a single point right here. Okay, it's very cool. But what I'm gonna show you now, if we try to emit each 7 frames, and let's make the RT loss 100%, and let's emit right now. Okay, so we emit like this. Okay, nice. Now if we try to rotate this object, maybe we want it to rotate 90 degrees. Okay, we will see that these objects will not rotate. Okay, let's rotate it, and as you see, this object does not rotate. So what is this problem? Okay, the problem that our original object, if you go here to this panel, you will see that the rotation mode is set to this quaternion. Okay, and you need to change it to the Euler mode. Okay, if now change it to the Euler mode. Okay, now let's delete this emission and let's emit with the same settings. Now our rotation should be okay. Okay, so let's see, did we change it? Okay, so now if we try to emit, our rotation is still does not work correctly. Because why? We didn't apply the rotation. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna apply the rotation, press Ctrl A, apply your rotation. Now delete this emission. Now it should work correctly. Okay, if we try to emit, you will see that our burger now is rotating in the x-axis with 90 degrees. Okay, so this is a tip for you. If you try to import objects from outside, you need to select the object, change the rotation mode to Euler, and you need to apply the rotation. So if you don't do that, the objects will not rotate because our emitter works in this Euler mode. Okay, that's it. And now what we can do, we can change this RT loss to maybe value of 0.8, and we can also randomize the rotation, and let's see the effect. Okay, as you see, the objects will spawn with random rotation. Okay, and what we can do, we can make this max minimum objects to 1. So right now it will emit 1 or 2 objects. Okay, we don't need that, we just need 1 object each time. Okay, like this. Let's emit. As you see, it will emit objects with different rotation. Okay, so as you see, this object rotation with another object rotation, and it's very cool. Now you can control anything. If you want the objects to emit maybe in other direction, maybe emit in the X, let's give it +5 emit, and you will see that it will emit in this direction. Okay, now you can also disable the gravity from right here, and you can emit like this. Okay, if you want to increase the speed, you can make it maybe 50, or 50 is too much, maybe just 10. Let's emit. Okay, so as you see, the objects will stop right here. Okay, what if we want them to keep going in this direction? Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna delete them, and we have this SP loss or speed loss. We can maybe make it 0.2 like this. Select this empty and emit, and they will go like as you see, they will not stop until they hit maybe right here or something. Okay, right here. Okay, they will stop. So this is a tip for you to control or to master this RB emitter. You can also, if you don't like it like this, it's no need to delete it every time. You can just go to the end of the timeline, select them all by name, and you can press Alt, and if you press Alt and move your mouse right here, you can change the speed loss for all of those objects at the same time, like this. And now, for now, they will stop right here. Okay, in this position they will stop, but when we increase the speed loss, maybe they will stop right here. Okay, now if we play the simulation again, as you see, they will stop right here. Okay, also for the RT loss, we explained this in the last video. It's the same thing, but for the rotation. Okay, if we try to make the RT loss to 0 for all these objects, or to 1, they will not rotate. They will just stay in the same rotation. As you see, they will not rotate at all. And if we try to make it maybe 0.2, simulate again, you will see that some objects will rotate like this. Okay, and you can modify those objects as you like and as you want. Okay, so I think we explained it almost. Most of the new stuff: rotation, velocity, veloc, randomize. It's very similar to the particle system of Blender. And we have this minimum max. Let me show you again what minimum max do. So for now it will emit only 1 object each time, but maybe let's go emit 10 objects and 10 objects each time. Okay, now if we try to emit, you will see it will shoot the objects like this. Okay, it will emit 10 each time. I mean, you don't really need it to shoot like this with those objects or those burgers, but maybe you need it in other projects, you know. And let's see another example. Okay, in this example, as you see, you have some donuts right here, and those donuts are very optimized. And if we see the wireframe, as you see, each donut has between 1000 and 2000 polygon. Or this one have almost 7000, but it's okay. If we stay always under 10,000 polygon, we should not worry about the performance of Blender. So we have those donuts, and we're gonna use them to emit from this emitter. But in this time, we're gonna animate the emitter. Gonna animate it like this. Let's go here and go here and go here. Put keyframe. Go here. Let's see our empty. It will move like this. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna select our, or go to our RB emitter, and we're gonna emit from grid. Size of the emitter is always 0. The count, maybe let's just go 100, and the maximum objects, will leave it like this. Emit each 2 frames. The mass of the object is 20. I don't know why 20, but let's make it just 1 kilogram. And we don't need friction or bounciness. We give them a little bit of speed loss, and maybe let's put it 0.7 right here, 0.7, and we're gonna give them a little bit of rotation like this, and randomize the rotation, and we're gonna give them a slightly lower value in the negative z, so the emitter will shoot down. It will shoot the objects like this, always down. Okay, so let's try to emit like this and see what will happen. Okay, let's emit. Okay, very cool effect. I mean, you can use this a lot for the VFX projects. You can replace those donuts with any product or any fruits or any one you want. And as you see, we have very quick emission. Very nice. Also, if your emission end right here, maybe in this frame 120, we can make another emission. Okay, just hide this collection. Choose the start frame to be 120 and emit again. Now if we play our animation, you will see that it will emit from the frame 120 like this. And if we enable the first collection, as you see, it will continue, and like this we can stack a lot of collection as we want or as we like. Now if I want to delete the first collection, if I delete it from right here, it will delete the 2 collection. What I can do, we can go back with Ctrl and Z, and if I want to delete the first collection, I can hide it, or I can hide the second collection from right here and right here. And if we delete it right now, it will delete only the first collection. Okay, it will not delete the hidden collections. So the delete button, it works only to delete the visible collections. And right now, if we enable our second collection, you will see that it's still right here and it still simulate. And of course we can maybe go back to frame 1. I want to shoot maybe like 7 maybe. I can put also a range between 7 and 13 and try to emit. You'll see that it will shoot a lot of donuts like this. Okay, and when it hit this frame, it will shoot the other objects. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right here, I'm gonna delete all of those collections because I don't need them, and I'm gonna go crazy. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna disable the gravity and delete all this, or maybe we keep, or let's delete this animation, we don't need it. What we're gonna do, gonna add this empty right here, and duplicate it, add one right here, duplicate it, add one right here, and let's select all of these three empties and duplicate them into right here. Okay, or shift, gonna press shift right click to put our cursor in the middle. Nice. And we're gonna add a force field in the middle, and we're gonna give this force field negative 500. Okay, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna select this MP, and we're gonna emit each 2 frames 100 objects, and I'm gonna go 1 object right here to maximum of 3 objects. Okay, let's emit, and let's see. You will see that these objects will go into the force field right here. Okay, nice. As you see, the force field will affect those objects and they will go into the force field. What we can do also, we can select this one, emit with the same settings, and let's play the animation. As you see, like this. What you can do, you can select this one, emit again. Okay, select this one, emit again. I'm just showing you, if you work with optimized objects, you can get a lot of objects in the scene without losing a performance. But if you work with higher poly count objects, you will lose your Blender performance instantly. Okay, so I'm emitting from all those empties. Okay, it's getting slower a little bit, but it's still under control. Okay, so for now I have like 6 collections of the emitted objects. As you see, if we count, we have like almost 600 objects. Let's play the animation right now. It will take a little bit to calculate. As you see, we have a lot of objects in the scene. Okay, I think we forgot to change the setting for the objects or for the empties down right here. Okay, so let's see. Like this. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to delete this three collection right here, because I forget to make the emitter shoot up. Okay, because now they are shooting down the objects. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna select or hide the first 3 collections, and if we press delete right now, it will delete all of these 3 collections. Okay, and we still have the first collections. What we can do right now, we can select this one. Let's hide those 3 because we don't need them right now. I'm gonna select this one, and this z value, gonna make it positive 0. Like this. Let's emit. Okay, let's see right now. It will shoot up like this. Okay, that's what we need. Very cool. Okay, I'm gonna hide it. Select this one, emit. If we play simulation, it will shoot up. Very cool. You're gonna hide it. Select this one and emit again. Okay, now let's unhide all the collections. Let's see our effect. Okay, it's gonna take a little bit to calculate, but what we can do, we can go right here to the bake, and we have only 1 sub steps. Maybe let's make it 2 or 3. And if we are happy with our sub steps, we can press bake it. but we're gonna go right here to this scene, and we're gonna increase the simulation to maybe 400, and let's bake. I'm gonna wait a little bit until start calculating, and this will take time a little bit because we have like 600 objects in the scene. So let's wait until it ends the baking, and we're gonna take a look about it. So our bake is finished. It took like 5 minutes to finish. I forgot to make only 200 frame, but it's okay. And let's play our animation right now, and you will see we have this 600 donuts rigid body simulation. Okay, very nice effect. I'm gonna save it, and we're gonna put our camera right here in the middle. Let's see the camera view. Okay, yep. So this is another example how I use the RB emitter to make this cool animation of those bottles. And this is not keyframed, it's all simulation, and you can see all my settings. Someone will say, prove that we can do it. We can delete our bake, and we can, as you see, we have these emitted objects. We can delete them, and we're gonna select this empty right here. As you see, if we hide all of those collections and leave only the empty, as you see, have this empty animated. As you see, we put a driver with this value frame /10, and now this empty will move constantly in the x-axis. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just bring this bottle or import it from any website, and what you're gonna do, you're gonna make sure that your rotation is in the Euler or the Euler mode, not in this quaternion. Okay, and that's it. You're gonna just select this empty, press emit, or first we're gonna need to delete this collection. Press emit, and you select this bottle, move it inside this collection right here, select the empty, and if you emit with the default settings, you will not get this type of effect, because I played a little bit with settings. So this is my settings. I make the size of the emitter 0, the count is 50, the size is 1, emit each 9 frames, and emit only one object, give the object mass 30 kilogram, and make the friction 1, no bounciness, speed loss value of 0.8, RT loss value of 0.9, and no rotation on the X, and 15-degree rotation in the Y, and 45-degree in the Z, and give them a little bit random rotation with value of 0.2, and we give them a little bit of velocity in the X axis with negative value, and a little bit of velocity in the Z axis with positive value, and we leave the other settings like this, and let's try to emit. And also we have this cube right here that have a rigid body passive with friction value of 1, and our gravity is enabled. Okay, and we have this a little bit of bounciness in this cube. Okay, 0.2. Let's see the effect right now. You will see that the bottles will spawn from the emitter, and they will drop in this box, and they will collide a little bit like this. So here is the trick right now. If we try to delete them and change maybe emit each 3 frames, okay, if we just change this this value right here you will see that our simulation will change dramatically like this. Okay, so you can get different effects. Okay, so it's hard a little bit to get the same effects only if you play a little bit with the emitter. Now if we go maybe to 15, emit each 15 frame, we should get similar effect to the first one. Okay, not really similar, but if we go to the 9, so you can play with those numbers until you get the effect that you want. Okay, so my values was like this. In the 9 frame, it will give me this effect without the bottles dropping all. Maybe this one will drop for some reason. Okay, I can select this one maybe and change something. Maybe the speed loss, I want to change it a little bit like this, and a little bit of rotation loss. And let's simulate again. Okay, this didn't work. What we can delete them and maybe change something right here. Maybe let's give them less velocity. And let's emit again. Okay, this is fixed the bottle that will drop. So right here you're gonna just play with the settings until something work. You have the friction and the bounciness, the speed loss, the velocity loss. So this is the technique that I used, and this is the settings. We can also change these bottles to something else. Maybe if we just make a cylinder like this, scale it a little bit, put it right here and put it inside this collection, and let's emit this cylinder from the emitter. You'll see that we will get the same effect almost. Okay, let's see our cylinder size. So our cylinder size is 0.4 in the X and the Y and 1 in the Z. Okay, you can choose those and choose the same values as me. And as you see, we have sub steps of 9 with simulation speed of 1 with same settings. You should get the same result. Okay, and also the convex hull, the mesh type or the collision type is convex hull. Okay, so that's it for this simulation. Okay, so let's see another example. We have this iPhone 15 and it's quite dense. As you see, the poly count is 45,000 triangle, but I'm gonna risk it. I have 32 gigabyte of RAM, so I should be a little bit safe. But we're gonna select this. We have two MPs right here, and let me show the grid. Okay, so we have this empty, and as you see, we have the size of the emitter is 0. I'm emitting from sphere. It doesn't really matter if you emit from sphere or grid. If you make the size 0, it will not make a difference. And we have the total count is 30. The object size is 1. Emit each 2 frame. Emit minimum of 1 object. 1 kilogram mass. 0.121 friction. No bounciness. The loss is 0.7. And the RT loss is 0.7. And we have rotation of 90 because as you see our iPhone is rotating in this direction, but we want it to be rotated in this direction. Okay, so we rotate it 90 in the Z axis and give them a little bit of random rotation with this value. and we give them a velocity in the x-axis, so it will move like this. We're gonna emit from this empty. Okay, so we're gonna select this empty and emit, and as you see, you're gonna get this effect of these iPhones. Okay, like this. Nice. What we're gonna do right now, we're gonna select the other empty and we're gonna flip some values. So this minus x, it should be plus x, so to emit in this direction. Okay, so let's make it positive 5. And this RT rotation in the Z. So right now our rotation is rotated in this direction. As you see, we're gonna rotate it in this direction. Okay, so we're gonna flip it with minus 90 in the Z, and we let the other values the same. Now let's emit. Okay, now let's play our simulation, and we should get some iPhones crashing to other iPhones. Okay, I hope Apple didn't see that. Anyways, it's like this. I think it's very cool effect. You can do this in VFX, maybe just if you know how to do it. Okay, so this is the effect. Okay, we can also delete that. What we can do, I mean, duplicate this one in the middle, and you're gonna parent those two into the middle one. So press Ctrl P, keep transform, and we're gonna rotate this one. So let's go right here, and we're gonna keyframe the rotation in the Z. Let's give it a driver frame slash 20, and they should rotate like this. I think we need it to be faster, so maybe let's make it 5 right here. So this is cool, and let's give it a driver in Z so it will move up. Okay, so let's give it frame slash 10, and this is, I think it's a little bit slow, so let's maybe make it frame slash 5, and this is maybe slash 1 or slash 3. This should be faster. Okay, now what we can do, we can select this empty and let's emit. Let's see the effect. Okay, maybe we're gonna delete it, emit each frame, and let's increase the count to 50. Okay, let's select this empty, emit. This will be a little bit intense. Okay, I hope Blender does not crash. Let's wait a little bit. Because our iPhone is not optimized. I've been lazy, I didn't optimize it, I just downloaded it and used it with this 45,000 vertices. So let's hope Blender does not crash. Okay, we are back. Let's play the simulation, and we have this effect. If we optimized our iPhone, we could get very cool effect. Okay, let's do it with just let's remove our iPhone, and maybe let's just do it with a cube, because cube, you know, it's optimized. Okay, let's try to model this iPhone. Okay, and let's maybe add a cylinder like this right here. Okay, let's make the galaxy maybe. Okay, let's duplicate like this and like this, and we have galaxy S24. Okay, let's bevel it a little bit. And let's apply the bevel. Now let's move our galaxy inside this collection. And now let's try to emit this time total of 100 from this one. Let's emit, and as you see, this is a lot faster. It's not very fast, but it's faster than what we had before. Okay, let's see the effect. Okay, very nice. What we can do, we can hide this collection, select the other empty, and let's emit with the same settings. And this will take longer because we already have a lot of objects in the scene, and we can just wait.
2,000 years later.
Okay, we are back. This took a little bit longer than I expected. Let's enable the first collection, and let's play the simulation, and let's see. Okay, this is this is crazy, but I'm just giving you some ideas about how you can use this emitter. I mean, it's obviously not good effect, but you can do better than me if you have other ideas. I mean, it's okay. A lot of galaxies S24 like this. So you can emit from and move in empty or rotate in empty like this. Okay, so that's it for this example. And in this example, I have two cookies right here, as you see. I optimized them a little bit, but as you see, they still quite heavy. Each cookie has 5,000 triangle. And yep, I added three empties, and I parent these two empties in the middle, and I select one of those empties and I emit with these settings. The emitter size is 0, the total count is 200. It's quite a lot, but I waited like 5 minutes to finish, but it's okay. And I emit each frame. The minimum is 1, the maximum is 1, the friction is 1, no bounciness, the speed loss is 0.5, and the RT loss is 0.5, and the rotation is 45 degrees in the X and the Y, and I give them a little bit of velocity in the Z like this. And with the same settings, I select this one, I emit from it, and I emit one time I emit this black and one time I emit this brown one. And let's see our effect right now. And I already baked it with these settings, and we have this cool effect. Okay, nice. Let's see it in the colors. I mean, it's very cool effect. Of course, if you optimize your objects right here, you can get more objects, but for now I have like almost 400 objects. It was a little bit heavy to bake all of this simulation, but we managed to keep it under control. As you see, my full scene has almost 2 million polygon, and it's running okay. Okay. And I added like camera right here. I probably will play a little bit with the lighting and the camera. Yep. So you can do a lot of stuff with this RB emitter 2.0. So we imported this model from Sketchfab, as you see. And if we try to use it in the RB emitter, as you know, we're gonna make some steps. First step, you need to select your objects, and if you have like a lot of objects not joined together, you have to join them. But in our case, this boot For this, in our case, these objects is not separated. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna just go to the RB physics and press here to clear the parent, and we're gonna select all of those roots and delete them because we don't need them. Now we have only this object. What we're gonna do, we're gonna rotate it a little bit like this, and we're gonna scale it down maybe like this. Okay, I'm gonna press Control. Let me enable the screen cast keys. Press Control, select the object, press Control A and apply the scale. And now we need to go right here and check if our rotation is in Euler or no. So let's make it in the Euler and apply our rotation. Now the object is ready to use in the emitter, but we need to check if our object is optimized or no. As you see, we have almost 20k polygon. I think we can decimate this object. What you can do, you can add a decimate modifier, and you're gonna go to the edit mode, press right click and go merge by distance. As you see, we remove it almost 13,000 vertices. That's a lot. Okay, that's cool. I mean, what we can do, we can decimate it a little bit, maybe 0.2, I think. So 0.2 is very nice. Let's decimate it, apply the modifier, and as you see, we have just 3000 vertices. So we're going to select this empty, go to the RB emitter, and we're going to make this size of the emitter 0, and we're going to emit in the x-axis. Let's give it 5, and let's make this 0, and let's emit. We have this collection, put our object inside this collection, and let's select the empty and emit. Now we have this emission, and I think our velocity is a little bit higher. What we can do, can delete them, make the velocity maybe just 1, and let's remove the gravity. Okay, disable the gravity. Let's select and emit again, and I think we need more velocity, maybe just 2 in the x, and maybe increase this velocity to 5, and let's emit again. Okay, this is better. Maybe we make the V loss or the SP loss 0.8. Let's emit again. Okay, and I love to make the rotation now. If we select out of those objects, and let's make the rotation loss to 0.5 like this. Okay, let's simulate again, and as you see, we make those objects rotate a lot. And yep, this is cool effect to just add a camera, some lighting, and you have great effect. Okay, so I'm gonna play with those effects a little bit and make camera, and I will render them. So to see more effects like this and more examples about the RB emitter, you can join the Discord link in the description and join us, and you will see our practice for the RB emitter. So that's it for the update 1.1.4. We talked about the RB emitter 2.0 and the RB physics. The other panels are the same from the last updates, so we didn't change anything about them. Maybe in the next update I will focus to improving the kinematics and the constraints a little bit. And yep, I hope you like the video. Make sure to subscribe, and if you like the add-on, you can get it from the link in the description. Thank you so much.